it your own business and don't be scared to do your own thing, which sort of backed the whole call centre and the car yard campaigns, which was pretty sweet. After I got me invite notification down pat a bit more, started getting a lot more people saying yes into three-way calls and stuff, especially from back home, like my boys from back Albury. So yeah, that's pretty much where I am at the moment. About to start, about halfway through the Robinson book, and I'm going to start that, what's his name again, Asher, the one we spoke about last night?
Who? Or Claff?
Yeah, that one, Claff.
If anything, yep.
Yeah, going to start that one next after I finish the Robinson one.
Okay, awesome, man. Awesome. How did you go today with the CYC campaign?
We didn't get to do it, because Mickle's gone.
Okay, yeah, because he's up in
Yeah, he got back at 3 o'clock and he texted me and gave me a thing on WhatsApp and said that he's got to shoot straight up to Coffs Harbour or somewhere, do a job, and then he's got to drive from Coffs Harbour back to Brisbane in the morning to do another job in Brisbane. So he's fucking driving all night tonight.
Yeah.
So we didn't get to do it. Not doing it tonight, but definitely doing BMW tomorrow night. So we'll have some fill in for you guys tomorrow night on our first gig. We'll try to record it and post it up on the thing for us.
Brilliant. That sounds A+. Awesome, man. Well done, dude. Well, you and Josh now are right in the thick of the call center campaigns, which is absolutely excellent. And it's really good to see you come firing off the blocks, man, especially, having been so new at this whole game. So, credit to you, man. Well done. Josh, why don't we move on to you, man? Because yeah, clap that up. We'll move on to you, brother, because I know that you've been doing the call center gigs now for at least, I would say, almost 2 months now, yeah?
Was that sorry? Yeah, almost 2 months. Basically, the first one was kind of like a trial one, which is pretty just based on just commissions, which was pretty shit. So the one that I'm currently at the moment, 2 weeks and a bit, learning heaps from there. And basically, if you came in there, it's just they worship Jordan Belfort straight up. So everything that they do, it's just Jordan Belfort. This morning we had maybe half an hour to 40 minutes of just watching Jordan Belfort. So, they're trying to jam that in. There's a lot of sharp people. So at the moment I've been listening to the Anthony Robbins and stuff, trying to better my skills in selling, and not just basing it based on just one person or just what they say, which is all right. But for me, what we've got here, what we're learning from your health is 10x better, which is yeah. And the best thing about the Triple C campaign is you're basically getting paid to network get paid to better your skills as well. So yeah, highly recommend jumping in it.
100%. Awesome, man. Yeah. So I think one of the biggest things is that you're learning, obviously, how to, communicate, sell, and close on a daily basis. Also, that place that you're at right now is full of a bunch of retards. Putting it politely, I could probably be a little bit more politically correct, but they are just not people that you would want to bring home to mum, so to speak. Their moral compass is not facing north. They worship Jordan Belfort, for fuck's sake. So
yeah, that's got to tell you something, doesn't it?
Got to tell you something, right? So again, what's interesting about that specifically is that all the boys said when I first got there, I read the room and I was like, okay, cool. Well, I don't trust this guy. I don't trust that guy. I reckon he's a snake and blah blah blah. And I don't think everybody could possibly see what I saw at the start. Maybe everybody thought that I was being just a little bit too overcritical. But now, obviously, people, especially Josh, are starting to see that that is true. You know what I mean? So what is it? Does it mean that I'm a clairvoyant or I'm psychic? No. Does it mean I'm a guru? Not at all, right? The only difference is that, you know, I learned to read people, I guess you could say, because I put myself on purpose. It was my own doing. I put myself into situations where I've been around a lot of unsavory characters. I've done a lot of shit that I'm not proud of, and it wisens you up, sharpens you up, and you can read people. You know people that are full of shit, that are authentic, and that aren't. So it was a familiar setting, and I could tell that these guys weren't legit. They weren't real. They weren't authentic. So, you know, your ability to read the play, okay, will save you at the end of the day. So, awesome, Josh. Keep rocking it, man. Looks like you're gonna have a couple of people come down on the Wednesday launch, which is unreal. Cool. So let's go over to Nick, man. You've been having quite a busy week, dude, and you've obviously been given some really, how do I put it, relieving news. I guess you've had a massive burden and a weight lifted off your shoulder just the last week gone. So I can imagine how much mental real estate that would have been taking up in your mind. And I don't think the guys on the line actually realize what you have been going through the last months, years, however long this has been going on for. So, you know, just quickly, if you want to just update us on where you're at, what you've been going through, and obviously, you know, what's happening now.
Yeah, sweet, man. So I was facing 4 years in jail. I got into a fight with someone. Unfortunately, I won. He ended up in hospital. I ended up with close to 20 grand debt for lawyers and different things from it. Facing 4 years in jail. On Wednesday last week, went into court. It got sorted out. I was just about to text Asher, actually a little bit into it, and be like, all right, man, I'm out for the next while. I'll take care of everything while I'm gone. But it went my way, which is really good. Out of it, just got like 100 hours of community service, 12-month court order. Can't leave the state. Got to report him once a week up to Box Hill to make sure I'm not killing anyone. Whole heap of anger management programs and shit. But at the end of the day, considering how serious it was, really good result. Yeah, to be honest, mind, I don't know what to do with myself now. You forget how much you're focusing on stuff, even when you think you're not focusing on it. Which taking in a lot more of the audio books again, which is good. Pumped out like 2 last week, which are awesome. Second Chance by Robert Kiyosaki is fucking excellent, which I pumped out really quickly, mainly because of the classes I'm doing at uni. A lot of what he discusses is debated in all our classes, which is awesome fucking ammo to pretty much make myself as an authority in those areas, which is actually working really well when you got people coming up to me after going, have I worked in the industry? So a lot of that information is fucking awesome. Got a new girl started tonight, Molly, from where I'm from. Extremely switched on. She's an awesome chick. I reckon she'll do really well. A lot smarter than myself, so she's picking it up really quickly, which is good. So hopefully we can just start getting the numbers back up this week.
Nice, nice. You know, like, you know, to go through what you've gone through and to still keep a smile on your face and push through the business isn't easy. You know, so it's a credit to you, dude. It's a credit to you for staying positive, for keeping up appearances, and for not letting, I guess you could say, that negativity drown you out and dig you in and put you into a hole where, you know, you don't know which way is up or down. So again, not an easy thing to go through, especially when you think you might be going to jail. And definitely, you know, because not many people in this team knew that, and you kept it to yourself pretty well, which again, you know, to take that on board and do it yourself is a credit to you, bro. So cool. I like to do that with each of you guys and just kind of see where everybody's at and get a bit of an update. Give you guys a chance to have a chat and to basically fill each other in so we can all be on the same page. So,
Hey, there he is.
Kano. How you doing, bud?
Oh, finally got it working. Had to log out, log in, reset, blah, blah, blah. Okay, we're here. Let's roll. It's good.
All right, cool. So I'm going to show you guys. I'm going to share my screen. Okay, so give me 2 seconds. There we are. All right, so I'm going to share my screen, and I'm going to show you guys something that I hold very dear to my heart. Okay, the reason why I hold it dear to my heart is because I have easily read this book, and listened to the audio. I probably haven't read the book 100 times, I'll be honest, but I've definitely listened to the audio 100 times. Okay, so just give me a hoo-ah if everybody can. If everybody's there we are. Good. So everybody's obviously still on the call. It kind of freezes up a little bit when I'm sharing my screen, so I don't know what's going on. But let me kind of explain why I want to go through this material. And let me also talk about, first and foremost, the concept of what duplicates and what doesn't. Okay? The difference between taking knowledge on board to better oneself, to better one's inner game, to help clear our mind, to help keep us, I guess you could say, more certain, so that we have more confidence. We take massive action, we take more action, we get a result. Okay, that's Tony Robbins. I forget what he calls it, but the momentum of developing the belief, the confidence, the action, and the result. Okay, so what I did when I first saw this stuff is that I then went out and tried to teach the team, okay, how to go out and frame everything. Okay, big mistake. Okay, now I'll tell you why. Because 80% of your business is only going to do 20% of the work. All right, which means that you can't. Well, I don't like saying that word. Which means that it's not realistic to teach them stuff like this when they're not that heavily invested in what they're doing in the first place. All they want to do is make a few hundred extra bucks. All they want to do is get by doing as little work as possible. They want to be the ones that make $1 million in a month without doing the work, okay? So 80% of your organization are going to be health promoters at the best. And they're going to bring in regular volume, but we can't go training the organization on this sorts of stuff, okay? Well, then you might be asking, Asher, then why would we learn it in the first place if we can't teach people it? Because when you understand this stuff, it gives you confidence, guys, okay? It builds your character, all right? And it sends you out into the world to talk to all these different people, and they look at you as though, wow, I want to be like that guy. I want to be that confident. I want to be that charismatic. He's a person that influences. I want to be like this person. Or I just want to be around him because the value that he gives and the character that he has when he's around people is attractive. That's why we learn this stuff, guys. Now, 20% of your organization, now we're going to look at the other end of the spectrum. 80% of your organization will do 20% of the work. The 20% of your organization will do 80% of the work, which means that you're going to have a very small part of your organization which does the whole heavy lifting, all right? Which is why we say we're going to go out, we're going to find 5 people to take it seriously and show them how to get their 5. Because at the end of the day, it's those small core group of 5 that are going to carry this thing to where it needs to be, okay? So again, we can send this material off to our top leaders, yet we've got to understand, guys, that this doesn't duplicate, okay? So the best way to help somebody understand that is you go to your top leaders, you let them know, okay, this doesn't duplicate if we're going to sit down and try and teach them this stuff. But we can go out and research it for ourselves, but never steer away from the system that duplicates. Now, what I mean by that is that we go get this material and we internalize it. We understand it, all right? And we study it over and over and over and over and over until it's bred into our DNA to act this way. And see, all this is understanding how people interpret information, all right, and how you can influence through structuring a social situation, all right? Everything in life is about how people interpret what you're saying, all right? All this is giving you a better chance to be able to say what you need to say just in a more attractive manner, okay? So we're going to learn this stuff here, all right? I've just lost the page. Can you guys still see my page?
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
So hopefully that all makes sense. You guys are going to go out and internalize this so that we start acting in a way where we're going to start influencing people, okay? We're not going to necessarily go teach it. What we're going to teach is Rising Star in 7 days or less. Because you got to understand that when you guys become better, naturally people are going to copy you and model what you do, right? Remember, Holton Barg says it. People don't do what you do. People don't do what you say. They do what you do, right? So if you internalize this stuff, people will copy it anyways. And for the sharp ones, we'll show them this stuff and we'll be like, all right, look at this stuff, become that person, but train what duplicates, okay? Because the simplicity. Does that all make sense, guys?
Yep.
Yeah. It's like Grant Cardone, it's like Tony Robbins, it's like any of that stuff. You're not going to go out there now and then focus on all your trainings to be on all their material. You're going to give it to your core leaders and you're going to brainstorm and you're going to do org meetings around it, but you're not going to go train people specifically, okay? Because it doesn't duplicate, it's going to waste your time. You're only going to do that with your top 20%. So let me just get in and break this down for you guys on
Can we get a
how
copy of that?
Yeah, sure. I can send you guys a copy of that.
Cheers.
Sweet, that'd be awesome.
So let me just open this up. All right, cool. So even when you get the copy of this, you can't really read it, but I could make it all out because I've seen this before somewhere else, and you know I've just read the book that many times that I already know what he's going to say in each of those spots. So first up, you can see right at the top here, you got the croc brain. All right. Now, this understanding what the croc brain does. The croc brain basically is in action all the time, okay? It's the part of the brain which deals with the emotion, all right? So when we were evolving and we were cavemen, we were always looking at threats. We're thinking, can I mate with it? Can I kill it? Or can I eat it? Or is it going to kill and eat me, right? And these were the primary functions of that very primitive part of the brain, okay? It's still in action. You got to think about it. People get so anxious and people get so scared and fearful if they have to get up and do a presentation in front of people, if they have to go outside their comfort zone. That's the croc brain in action. It deals with weighing up how much is this going to cause me pain? Should I act on it? So basically, this is the gatekeeper to the rest of the brain, all right? Because it's the croc brain right there that decides, am I going to kick all this information up to the rest of the higher part of the brain so that it can analyze it and decide if it's worthy of doing what we need to do with it? Or am I going to completely kill this right now and not let it get past the gatekeeper, which is the croc brain, all right? So understand, guys, that when we go out and we talk to people about stuff, you know, most of the time we're like, what the fuck just happened? You know? Well, chances are is that we didn't tell a story with the strong method, which is just below. We told a story, but it hit all the wrong triggers. It incited fear. The croc brain thought, hey, this is not something that I want to waste energy on trying to decipher. I'm going to kill it, okay? And we've done it over and over and over and over again because we're unaware of how we interpret information. We're unaware of how we process it, okay? So then how do we tell a story so that we can hit all the switches in a person that we need to hit, okay? Now this shit is just fucking genius, okay? So anybody has heard the 10,000 hour rule? basically, if you do anything for 10,000 hours, you basically become a master at it. So Oren Klaff has done 10,000 hours on this specific method, which is equates to about 10 years, right, of research and study on this one area, and he's got it down to a method, okay? It's proven, and he's got some really, really interesting case studies of how he actually proved this. So let me get into it. You want to set the frame, guys, okay? Now, the reason why I'm going through this first is because then I'm going to go in, I'm going to talk about the campaigns, and I'm going to show you guys how I've structured the CYC campaign so that it's very much in alignment with this kind of method, okay? So, first you want to set the frame, all right? Understand that what a frame is, all right? Whenever you have an interaction with somebody, all right, one person is always more dominant than the other person. All right, if you don't believe me, just watch interactions. All right, and whether or not people know what's going on or it's a subconscious thought, most alpha males just do this anyways. They'll go in and they'll control the frame. All right, so I'm not going to give too many examples for time. All right, I want you guys to go through this, okay? But look at it like this. A policeman comes up, knocks on your window, tells you to wind the window down. Heart starts to skip a beat. You saw the sirens in your back rear vision mirror. He pulls you over, knocks on the window, you wind the window down. He asks, how fast were you going? You say, not fast. Who controls the frame? He does, right? Because he's got more perceived authority, right? And he just controls it because in society we see him as a more powerful figure. He controls the front. You react to him, all right? So you got to look at situations like if you ever go in and you go to, say, one of the car yards, you got to remember, or if you have a prospect, if they're controlling the interaction, right? If they've got control over you, if their frame is more dominant, all right, they're already winning, and it's really hard to come back from that. Does that make sense to you guys?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. Pretty basic stuff, but it's just, you know, we've got to put this into ways in which we understand it. So there's always a power play for frames. I've got a lot of examples of my own I can give, but for time I'm not going to get lost in storytelling. All right. So next is we're going to tell the story. So first we're going to set the frame. All right. We're going to figure out how we're going to control it. We can talk about that later. Next, you want to tell the story, all right? So you got to understand as well, guys, that your mind isn't used to looking at analytical, complex problems, all right? It doesn't like it, right? You got to remember, you're talking to the croc brain here. Everything's got to be simple, very, very simple and novel. So how do we do that? It's got to be through a narrative. All right, and what I mean by narrative is you've got to tell a story, but it's got to be interesting. It's got to be provocative, okay? So your story's got to be something that's interesting to people. And if you're not sure how to do it, watch people that are good at telling stories. And watch how when they're speaking, people are leaning in, listening. Why? Because they've got a story of substance, all right? So stay away from the analytical stories of, I went down and I traveled 300 kilometers down the road and oh my God, like there was this truck and then it pulled out in the front and the truck had like this flower on the side of it and it was very intricate and oh, I think you can, you know, like I'm talking about the features. It's like when you go talk about a car, you got to come in, you got to look at this. Someone, you know, like myself just wants to know, shit, can it drive super fast? And, you know, and what's the advantages of having a car like that over a car like this over here? You know, I need a story. I need vision. I don't need to just hear all the features and the benefits, okay? And that's what Dell computers do. Dell computers talk about how fast their core processor is, how great the features are. Apple talk about the brilliance and the vision of having one of these in every home and changing technology forever because of what Apple is aiming to do. And they're very two different ways of talking about what they do. One captivates your attention, one just drowns you out in detail, makes you think, why the fuck would I ever buy a Dell PC? Which is exactly what I still think. I'm like, I would never, like, I know Mac, I know they're dodgy and they make you buy upgrades with everything they've got, but I still would buy that over a freaking PC, right? So tell the story, all right? Next one is reveal the intrigue. This is where you want to show a certain amount of risk, danger, and uncertainty, all right? And this is where we put in time constraint. The most important thing about this part here is understanding that we've got to keep your attention. When you're revealing the intrigue, it's about keeping somebody's attention. On average, you've got 20 minutes to keep someone's attention. So what we've got to learn how to do is work on how can we keep somebody's attention in 20 minutes or less, all right? Most of the time, we don't even have 20 minutes, guys. Most of the time, we've only got 5 minutes, okay? And so the idea is to train yourself, how can I be more interesting in shorter amount of time? How can I say less and be more impactful? Does that make sense?
Yeah, man.
Cool. All right. So it's about attention here. How do you keep attention? All right. You show a certain element of risk, danger, and uncertainty. All right. And this will all become apparent in the book. I don't want to give you guys so much detail, but these are the basic tenets. All right. So what's next? Next, you want to offer the prize. Okay. So what do we mean? What does this step mean? Offer the prize means that we're going to flip the script, boys. All right. We're going to have the prospect chasing us. Let me give you an example. All right. Offer the prize. So I've gone in, I've set the frame. All right. So I'm going to role play with Kane. I'm like, hey man, you know, look, dude, I've only got maybe, I don't know, I got 10 minutes, dude. All right. So I'm going to be super quick. Why don't you just take a seat over here and I'll quickly fill you in on what we're doing. And at the end of the day, man, like I just really want to catch up with you because it's been a long time, right? So please don't think that I'm rude by any way, shape, or form. I'm super busy, man, so I've only got 10 minutes really just to give you a breakdown, all right? Bang. I set the frame that I'm the one that's got to go soon, right? So I'm trying to basically just put into play that, all right, you're here to hear what I've got to say, all right? I'm not here to jump to the beat of your drum, all right? You're not going to come in here and make me jump through hula hoops or dance around like a little ballerina girl. That ain't what we're going to do here, all right? Okay? And this isn't to be manipulative, guys. This is, we already have enough stigma attached with our industry than having to worry about some jerk-off coming in thinking that he's going to have his 10 minutes of fame, so he's going to put us through the ringer just because he wants to feel important. That ain't happening anymore, okay? So it's about commanding respect, and it's about having people respect us, you know? It's like, you know, we've worked so hard for what we do, okay? And we understand what we've got here. All right, so set the frame. Tell the story. I would go through, tell the story, give some analogies, whatever, all right? Reveal the intrigue, okay? We can go through that later, all right? So then I'll reveal the intrigue, okay? Now, offer the prize, okay? So now what I'm going to do is we're going to get the prospect chasing us. So you could say things like, you know, so why don't, you know, these Darren Hardy questions, why don't you tell me why it is that you think you'd be good at this? Well, why don't you tell me something like, what's, you know, like what makes you the kind of person that you think would really kind of thrive in situations like this? Do you consider yourself to be quite sociable? Do you consider yourself to be that leader kind of person? Now, if you're talking to somebody who considers themselves to be alpha, these are great questions to ask, right? But what you're doing is you're getting them to give you reasons. They're selling you, okay? So this is what I mean by offer the prize, okay? Get them chasing you. All right, now, if you've done the first few steps right, then asking them the kind of question, so why do you think that we should work together? You know, like, it could be a number of questions. You just have to think about it. All right? Are you picking up what I'm putting down so far?
Yeah, man.
Cool.
Yeah.
You boys good? All right. And then he goes through and he talks about nailing the hook point. All right? This part here is, and we've heard it time and time again, people buy an emotion, but they reason with logic. This is the emotional call to action. We talk about this in Your Health, okay? All right? So people buy an emotion and they reason with logic, and that's what you would, that's that step there, nail the hook point, that's how you do it. It's the emotional call to action, and get the deal. This is a bit of push-pull, all right? So push-pull, Tony Robbins talks about it, we've talked about it before, all right? What is push-pull? I'll give you an example. You know, Kane, look, dude, yeah, I don't know, man, like, you say that time's not really something that you've got, and that's completely understandable, dude. Like, I really don't think this is going to be for you, man. You know what, like, if you can't put in 10 hours minimum a week to go out there and build your dream, it's probably better off that you just don't do this thing. Which is an absolute shame, because there's so many qualities and attributes you've already told me about that really make you an absolute weapon and one of the best candidates for this program, dude. So, you know, and I respect you for that, and I really know that this is something that you do want to do, but I really just don't think that now's probably the best time for you. So we should probably just kind of not worry about it.
Oh, I reckon I could get that 10 hours. No, sounds good.
But then, right? And now maybe they say something like that, okay? So maybe Kane comes in and says something like that, all right? But what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave it for a little bit. That's called a push, all right? You push them away, and you do it legitimately, all right? They said this, and you're like, well, okay, well, if you can't have that, then sweet. Take it away, all right? Now I'm going to pull them back in. However, man, you know what? I tell you what, if we actually had a look at what you put your time into, you know, and we kind of restructured some of your schedule, dude, I believe that where Dave Nelson is right now, at the age of 27, about to clear $1 million from this business, I solely and wholeheartedly believe that that can be us, man. And I believe that we work so well as a team on everything else that we've done in life. We've been best mates since forever. I know that if we put our heads down for 3 years minimum, 5 years maximum, we can be in the same position as Dave, and think about what that will mean. I know more than anything you want to take mum and dad out of work. I know this, dude. And it's a real possibility with what we're doing right here. So all we need to do is find 10 hours. That's all we need to do. That's like not even an hour, maybe an hour and a half each night. I'm sure if we restructure the schedule, we could find it. So, and you pull them back in, okay? And again, the book will make all of this make sense, okay? So, again, don't get lost in, oh shit, I got to go out and teach this. All I'm trying to do by telling you guys this stuff is to sell you on why the book is so freaking good. All I'm doing is selling the material. I'm not teaching it. I'm not trying to teach it. I'm trying to sell why you guys should go read it so that we can all discuss it as leaders and as partners. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, brother.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. That's the key difference. I don't want anybody to go out and start teaching their teams this shit. Sell them the reason why they need to go and look into it. Okay? Cool. Cool. So that's how you tell a story. That's how he tells a story here. So he goes through and gives you the background on the way your brain works in a very simplistic manner, and then tells you how to deliver a story so that you can be an interesting person, someone that people say, hey, that guy's got it going on. Okay? So I am going to get out of that. I'm going to pop back up here. All right? So let me get my notes back up really, really quickly.
Just quickly though, I think that's an awesome analogy where you said there, let's put our heads down for 3 years, because it just comes back to that whole term from school. It's like, let's just put our head down, ass up, get this test done for 10 minutes, and then we can play after that. Like, I've never heard that since I've started, and as soon as you just said then, let's put our head down for the next 3 years, I was like, that just makes it so this is what we're going to do. Come in, you're setting the frame with that. Put your head down, this is what we're going to do, and then we can get that lifestyle. Like, that was just fucking gold to me, man. That was really good. Yeah,
Cool.
really good.
Cool. And I wouldn't have been aware of that unless you pointed that out. So
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
that's,
So
that's
just
good. Really good.
little trigger words like that that sometimes we may overlook unless one of us brings it up are good, you know, having those little trigger words, because we're creatures of habit. So we're going to remember these kinds of things that can help, that can help the top brain internalize it a lot faster. Okay?
Exactly.
I think Aaron touched says also when he's closing the deal, like, you've got to be prepared to walk away.
Exactly.
Obviously, you don't want to just get up and leave your meeting, but if you've got the mindset of, like, this doesn't matter, people pick up on that. If you're like, oh, yeah, no, it's not for you kind of thing, you're just waiting to jump back in, you've just got to keep it cool. Yeah, cool, if it's not for you, man, like, have the mindset that I'll leave here, it's not going to be any hair off my back, I know where I'm going.
Yeah.
So not
It's all
needing-
about being non-needy. All about
Yeah.
being non-needy. Same thing like with picking up girls, exactly the same thing. You have to be prepared to just turn and walk away, and that's when they
Yeah.
follow you.
That's true.
Josh
Same
knows
with
what's
the
going on.
girlfriend.
How do you think I got it? I picked up. What about you guys?
That's why I'm single.
Tinder pulling through for Gano.
Yeah.
All right. Back on the straight line. So we get that. Yeah, we see the importance of how to tell a story and the reason why we need to understand. He'll go through the strong method and he uses an example for every part of the strong method. And the stories, guys, are out of control. Shit. They're out of control. Some of the stuff that he does and has done, like that YouTube clip that I sent you, he went over stuff that I hadn't heard of in the book. He's an extremely captivating person. Yeah, right. So study his stuff. There's not many people that I really respect in terms of sales. And I'm going to tell you a really cool story about an interview that I went for today. Actually, fuck it, I'll tell you now. So I went to this interview today. Again, did a record interview of 20 minutes, but I was actually nervous to go in and see this guy. I went to a recruitment agency. This wasn't a job they listed on the website. This was off the books. And what this recruiter was doing was that he was looking for people that were sharp and that he thought would fit the bill off the books to send him to go see this guy. This Anthony guy started up this company called Trustpilot, and it's a program to help businesses run more efficiently, more effectively, a lot faster. It's like so easy to sell. Anyway, so this guy Anthony over in the UK basically become the top performing salesperson in the world for this company. Basically got a team of like 200 people over in Europe, went over and started up New York, LA, was in Paris, got UK open. The guy is an absolute weapon. So the guy that actually took the interview with us, he did all of this pitch anything stuff really well. He prized himself. He told the story. He offered the intrigue, right? He nailed the hook point and he closed the deal, right? We went in there and I was like, I'm like, yeah, it's going to be one of these bullshit jobs. He sold me so hard that I've been thinking about this interview all weekend, and it was today. And I was nervous. I was a little bit anxious when I was walking in, but I knew, I'm like, shit, I'm going to control the frame somehow. So as soon as I got in there, you know, took a few deep breaths, talked to him, and just got into my state. And anyway, so the interview went for 20 minutes, got the job basically, told us in so many words that me and Steve got the job, right? Some of the commissions that we're going to be earning on some of these jobs, if you can believe it or not, are in between 10 to 25K just for one sale.
Fucking hell, man.
What are you selling?
This software, I'll send you guys the link in a little bit. But the thing is, if I didn't know how to tell my story, right? If I didn't internally have going on the right things in my head to pique his interest, to control the frame to a certain extent, to give the power back when I needed to, if I didn't know how to basically act right. All this stuff that you learn in Pitch Anything is how to act right, how to say the right things, because you know how he's going to interpret it. Don't overcomplicate it, right? Don't oversimplify it. Just make it so that he can interpret it well. Be clear, right? So that's what I did. And because of it, I got this interview done in record time, again, in 20 minutes, out of there. He's like, man, I don't have any more questions to ask you. Do you have any questions to ask me? So, of course, the questions I asked him, I wanted him to qualify himself to me. Why? Because I wanted to leave on a high. I wanted to make sure that I've got this fucking job for real. Not just kind of, oh, yeah, I got it. I wanted to make sure for sure he knows that when I leave, that he made the right decision to make sure that he doesn't interview anybody else for the rest of the week, because he's found his 2 guys, and they're the first 2 guys he interviewed in Australia. That's what I wanted to make sure I knew how to do. And again, I only know this because I've done the work. I listen to Tony Robbins. I know the Pitch Anything stuff. And that's what I'm trying to get at. It's not so I can teach you guys this stuff. It's so I can sell you guys on why you need to read it, so that we can have an alternating dialogue about how good the shit is. And then we can consolidate it and just discuss it and make it sink in. Right? So there's a prime time example. There's not one interview I can't go into now that I'm not sure of that I could get it done in 20 minutes and exhaust them to the point where there's not one possible question they could ask me, because it doesn't matter how many questions they ask. Each question I'm going to cover a whole range of things and make it relate to the one question they ask, so that they've got no more questions to ask. So just, that's just, a little bit to throw out for you guys. So, let's move on, all right? Basically, how long? My computer's got 18 minutes, all right, that's fine. We're good for that. So basically, we've got the call center campaigns, all right? Josh and obviously Adam, guys are really in full flight with that at the moment. Kano, when you get back, you're going to be in fine form for that as well. Basically, all I want to say on the call center campaign is that we've got to learn how to sell ourselves, like what I was just talking about. Pitch Anything will help you guys with that. But we've got to role play, okay? A lot more one-on-one role playing. What we're going to do is I'm going to interview you guys, and I want to see how you guys present yourselves, how you handle yourself, and then we can talk about where we can improve. Cool?
Cool. Yep.
Next is the car yard campaign. So I've almost come up with a little bit of a framework on how specifically we can go in and get that done. So it's best done with 2 people. You can do it with 1. It just doesn't work as effective. First, what you're going to do is you're going to go in and you're going to pique interest, all right? Anybody that's listened to the audios that I've done, cool. Anybody that hasn't, that's all right. You want to go in and pique interest. So first up, go in, hey, listen, man, basically, we're here. We're looking for a couple of cars for me and my buddy. We run a business. We've got a team. If we like doing business with you, if we trust and respect you enough to want to come back, then you're going to be getting a lot of repeat business with the teams that we have, man. So, yeah, we're serious about this, dude, and we want to see what you got. We're looking for something very specific. Now, you're going to have to do your research on the cars, know a little bit, all right? Okay, so go in and know what you're looking for, so you can just talk shop with him, and you can have an exchange of a little bit of framing going on. So, pique interest. Then you want to go in there and frame control. What Adam and Nick are doing is Adam's going to go in there and he's going to ask questions. So, what can you tell me about the 4 Series? Because I'm actually looking at this, blah, 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 blah. Ask questions he knows the answers to. Then he's going to ask questions that he knows that guy probably doesn't know how to answer. Why would you do that, do you guys think? Why would you ask questions that you know he's probably not going to know the answer to?
Gives you the power back.
Authority.
What was that, Kane?
I said to be an authority on the matter, on the subject.
100%, 100%. And what does that do, though? If you're the authority...
Set the frame.
That's the frame of what?
Moral authority or power frame.
So it's a power frame because he's going to react to you now. So it means that you now control the interaction, right? Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So You're going to pique interest, you're going to talk about, and you're going to obviously get him interested in what you're doing. Shit, this guy's going to give me pique interest, like repeat business. What the fuck did they do? Then you're going to go in, you're going to frame control it. You're going to talk about the car, asking questions that he doesn't know the answers to, asking questions that he does know the answers to. And this car center campaign, this CYC campaign, all right, there is going to have to be a certain level of preparation, okay, done on our behalf in order to nail this. These campaigns, guys, aren't going to be something where we can go in and wing it and half-ass it, all right? We're looking for quality people, so we need to look at this and prepare like the Navy SEALs would if they were going to go into war, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to leverage Adam. He's going to give us a sheet full of questions specifically on parts of the car or questions we can ask that he knows that the car salesman won't know the answers to, so we can take control of the frame again. Sweet?
Sweet.
Yeah.
Are you guys using what you guys talked about in the chat, where it's like the owner of Audi was this, and this? Are you guys using that?
It's changed a little bit. We're going to give we've done another audio the other day.
I've got that. Sorry, man. I've got that. I can put that in the Dropbox. Do we have a Dropbox that's for all of us, Asher?
Yep. So
Yeah,
I've added.
I'll stick that in there so we can so you can all see the one that we did last night, me, Asher, and Mickle.
Awesome.
So you can all have a look at that, and I'll make a list up for us all tomorrow, and I'll type it up on my tablet thing, and I'll flick it onto our Facebook site so we can everyone can read that as well.
Cool. Awesome, man. Weapon. So the way we frame control is the questions that we ask so that we can take the frame back. Okay? Adam's going to help us with the questions. He's going to give us the answers. All we need to do is study them. Even research the questions so that we've got a better understanding of what we're asking. All right? Next step is we're going to indirect pitch. Now, this is where the whole CYC campaign comes together, is this one step. The third step, all right, we're going to indirect pitch him, and this is where we tell the story. So let's say that I'm talking to Adam and Kane's a car salesman. I'm not even going to acknowledge Kane for a second. I'm just going to turn straight to Adam and have a conversation with him. The whole conversation is centered around me, right? Why? Because when you close, you're gonna go for the three-way call. When you ask for the deal, you're gonna go for the three-way call, all right? And how are you gonna do that? Well, because you've created intrigue and you've prized it, and that's what you're gonna do in the story. So when you do the indirect pitch, you're gonna talk about, all right, cool. So whatever, we haven't thought of it yet, but you're gonna prize me and obviously create intrigue. So much so that he's heard Asher so many times that when you go for the three-way call at the end of it, he's open and he's ready and he's primed and he's good to go. All right? So that little part there, that third step, is very, very important that we get it right, okay? Because it's what the whole thing hinges on. And we've got to do the other steps right too. All right? Next, he's probably going to ask us what we do. All right? So we're going to talk about what we do. We're going to handle the objection. All right? But remember, Grant Cardone says, handle it as a complaint until it's proven to be an objection. So, network marketing. Yeah, you probably heard of it a little bit. Cool. So, blah, 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 whatever, right? But the way in which you handle the objection, if it becomes serious, if you can tell that he's bothered by network marketing, is you're like, listen, man, I completely agree. I looked at this situation. I looked at network marketing. I thought, what a crock of shit. But fuck, dude, you just got to look at what you're doing. Not one kid goes through school growing up wishing I could be a car salesman. And every time somebody hears car salesman name, what do? They cringe, they scour, they curse, they talk about all the bad stories of all the car salesmen that ripped them off. You deal with it, we deal with it too. Fact of the matter is every car salesman dodgy? No. There's some car salesmen out there that offer a great deal. Yes. Are there car salesmen out there that go above and beyond and give back value? Yes. Are there some car salesmen that really want to see people go home with the car they want? Yes. Are there some network marketers out there that do this the right way, have a great company, have a great product, and understand the process and the way this thing works and know that it can work and want to do this thing properly? 100%, dude. So we're dealing with the same business, just a different name. So, and then you go on to the next part. That is probably the best way I could think of handling that objection because it directly relates to them. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yep.
Fucking
And
yeah.
Right?
And it puts them in the same shoes as you.
Absolutely.
Gets them thinking, me too, and then yeah, even just from an outside perspective, you guys talking about it, it creates like a them and us perspective. It gets you time together, like Nick said, commonality. It's you guys against the world. You're right. That's it, Josh. And we. Nice.
100%.
Really good.
100%. 100%. So, and then what are we going to do? Get the deal. We're going to be like, hey, listen, man, I can hook you up with a three-way call. Give me all the information on this car. You know, whether or not I end up going Mercedes, Audi, I don't know yet. I am very interested in BMW. However, the car bonus extends to all types. So, regardless, I think you're a sharp dude. You know what you're doing. Obviously, you know how to sell this stuff. I am interested, but, you know, let's take the number down, man. And, you know, I could get you on with Asher, and then you edify me again, and then you go for the close, and you get his number, and you set up the three-way call right there and then. Yeah?
Yeah, buddy.
Nice.
That's the CYC campaign, boys. So obviously now we've got the structure. We just got to figure out the content and the meat in the middle. Once we've got that, we're good to go.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
So we're not flying blind anymore, right? We've got a system, and if we roll this thing out and we do it, and obviously there's going to be things we need to adjust, but if we get it right and we keep on going over and over and over, we're going to nail this thing to the wall, okay? So,
Yeah. And also, oh, sorry,
Yep.
you go, Asher.
Go for it, man.
One thing I was thinking about just before, the first few we do, it's probably better to stick with Audi, Merc, or Beamer because we've got the leverage of the LCB straight away. Like we can use it 100%. Whereas in me and Asher and spoke about it in the recording that we had last night. Once you get away, like you get into your Holdens or your Fords, you have to change your pitch a bit. You have to change it to, like we use an example of, we've got boys that fly up from Melbourne and we need company cars. So that's why we're coming to you. We want all our boys to have a certain amount of company cars. So you have to change the pitch a little bit. But if we stick with the three that are in our LCB to start with till we get it like absolutely fucking perfect, it'll be easier to leverage with the LCB because we know all about it.
Nice.
Brilliant, brilliant. All right, I've got about 6% left on my battery, so it's going to drop really soon. So I'm going to get this done really quickly. Our 4 vital priorities, all right, guys? I'm not angry. That's not what we do here, all right? I just understand that we just got to, obviously, including myself, we just got to get better at developing the habit of tracking, all right? So new cycle, new week, we've all got to be over this like white on rice, okay? So what are our 4 vital priorities? What's number 1?
Invite.
Invite.
Edify.
Track. Edify.
Yeah, edify, track, and then follow up, yeah?
Yeah.
So we've got the tracker. It's already up on Google Drive. You just got to go in there. I should have already added you in with your Gmail account. All we're going to do is just update our numbers, go into it daily. Just make it an affirmation so it's something you remember each day, okay? Obviously, tracking. You want to be tracking your prospect tracker, okay? And you want to be making sure that we've got a system in place there. Do we know who we're talking to? Are we consistently following up with our guys? Or are they just are they getting talked to once or twice and then we forget about them? Really important stuff, okay? We're losing a lot of sales because we're not following up properly. We're not tracking properly, guys, okay? So the 3 types of trackers is your prospect tracker, your habits tracker, and your journal. Don't forget that bad boy. All right, that's going to keep you out of that dark, deep, scary, gloomy place that we can find ourselves in from time to time when we feel like we're straying from the path. And our why is great and it is helpful, but our journal as well is our lightsaber. All right, so don't ever forget that thing is just that important. It is that important. I just can't stress it enough. All right, it's going to be that savior that we need as we start to get ourselves in that deep black hole. So you got your 4 vital priorities, guys, okay? I don't need to go into that too much, all right? I would role play with you guys, but for time purposes tonight, I believe that we really needed to focus on our storytelling, how we project, because all the interviews for the Triple C campaign is how you tell your story, and obviously needed to talk about, you know, the CYC campaign as well, and how we're going to use that method. 4 vital priorities is standard. We always talk about that. Don't forget about your journal, guys. Okay. You know, I've even been slack on mine. So, yep. Nick?
Real quick, I'm looking at the tracker right now. So do we have to just have you looked at the numbers from last week? Like, we just keep changing them? Like, we don't have to it doesn't reset itself or anything?
So what I'll do is I'll just copy that page and make a duplication of it, and then put a new week, and then we'll just do the same thing. We'll just keep on duplicating the page.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Sweet.
Cool. But yes, that's exactly what you do. You guys are doing it right. Yeah. But just, you know, just make sure that we're on top of it, and we keep on top of that. So there is that one. All right. So are we good? Are we good with the vital 4 priorities, guys? We know it needs to get done. I don't really need to talk about it in depth, do I?
No.
No. We're just gonna start doing it, yeah?
Exactly.
All right, cool. So let's really make a conscious effort, because the only thing that's going to hold us back now, I feel like we have all the knowledge, all the wisdom, and all the material and tools. It's time to apply it, all right? Nobody wants to be that certain person in the group that knows all the stuff but doesn't know how to apply. Now, I know that's not us, all right? That's not us. All you guys on the call right now, you're action takers. I know you are. And I know that to be true in each and every one of you guys, because I've seen it. But like anybody, we all have those certain things that just kind of like, we're like, fuck, really? Do I have to do that? I get it. I get that with the journal and my trackers. I get it. All right, I get it too. But we just got to make sure that we're just on top of our game. So I feel you guys, because I'm there as well. So let's help each other and let's get there together. Okay.
Sweet as.
Last
Good
bit.
boys, great stuff.
Good.
Last bit is just your personal development. All right. Right now, I'm reading Power versus Force, Second Chance. You know, I'm going over the birthday book, and I'm reading I Am That. Okay. Obviously, I'm throwing Pitch Anything in there as well. Obviously, that's a lot of books to be reading at any one time, but that's how I operate. I'm not really multitasking, because it's not like I'm reading all 5 or 6 at the same time. But I do feel like I just feel like I need to be reading multiple books at any one given time. And I feel like I can do that. And that works for me. If it doesn't work for you, try to get through the book that you're reading as fast as possible. Right? And then go back through it again. Cool?
Sweet.
Sweet.
What's I Am That?
And one quick question. Ask yourselves this every morning, what do you stand for? Like, seriously, what do you stand for? What's your brand? What do you represent? Who are you? Really? If somebody looked you in the face and said, what do you represent? What will you go to war for? What will get you out of bed at 6 o'clock in the morning? What will get you ticked off, pissed off, fired up, crazy as hell, lighting yourself on fire, running down the street, screaming at the top of your lungs? What would you do that for? You know, like, and ask yourself deep down, right? And go over that same question every single morning, because that one singular question is going to fire you up like fucking crazy. It's that one question that when you feel like you just like, piss off everyone and anyone, it's that one question that's going to get you fired back up again and ripping it. It's going to get you back on your track and back out prospecting. All right? So ask yourself seriously, what do you stand for? And never forget, standards are there to benchmark ourselves and how we're growing. All right? It's not so your uplines can tell you what to do. It's so you yourselves, we as a group, can know if we're getting better or not. It's how we know to benchmark ourselves on how we're progressing and how we're growing. All right? That's why all this stuff's there. That's why the tracker's there, the prospect tracker, the journal, all right? That's why we have standards. That's why we do affirmations. We have a vision board, so we can benchmark our progress and see if we're going backwards or forwards. So never drop your standards. And I think it was Greg Plitt, like he says, you know, be humble, be hungry, and always be the hardest worker in the fucking room, all right? Right here, I believe that we have got one of the most weaponary teams in your health at the moment. We've got a group of white diamonds on this call right now, okay? And we all realize that we're white diamonds. It's just that we haven't caught up to where our rank's at. By the end of the year, we're going to be seeing all you guys on stage up there doing a power piece and inspiring and motivating a massive organization, not for our egos, but because we fucking deserve it. Each and every one of you guys is weapons taking massive action, and all the things that we're doing right now, guys, is exciting because it's starting to come together, and I can feel it, and I know you guys can feel it. Kano can feel it all the way from Japan, right?
Yeah, boy.
So stay true.
Yeah.
Stay true. Stay dedicated. Stay focused, all right? Be hungry, be humble. Always be the hardest fucking worker. Get those trackers done, and unless you guys have got anything to add, I'm pretty much done with that.
No, that was epic.
Yeah?
That was fucking solid effort, boys.
Solid close.
All right, cool. So I recorded that, so if you want to send it out to anybody, you can. Obviously, I swear a little bit, so be careful who you send it to. In case we got some sensitive Sams in the group. Hopefully we don't have anyone called Sam, and he's sensitive. That would really fuck me over, wouldn't it? Right? But, I think we all get it. Kano, I can't wait to have you back in Oz, man. I know everybody's missing you. Adam, you're super impressive at the moment, dude. Keep up the momentum. Josh, you're relentless, dude, and I can see your skill sets are starting to pay off. And Nick, I'm lucky that we didn't lose you. And all your hard work, dude, signed up a new rep, well on your way to becoming Emerald this cycle for sure. Really leading the path and really representing for the team, so awesome work, dude. That's pretty much it, boys. So keep interactive on WhatsApp because I've been doing a lot of trainings with people on WhatsApp, and it's really been working a treat. And let's book in some one-on-ones and teach you guys how to present yourselves and yeah, get on to that Orange Flash stuff because it will save you.
Yeah.
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 All right, boys.
All right, boys.
Catch you later, boys.
I'll talk to you boys later.
Bye, man.
See y'all.
Peace.
Night, crew.